All right. All I'm really going to do is what I've always done is tell you what I've learned from people since I first started. A lot of people say, well, you're a Notre Dame, you can do this or you can do that. I started at Richfield Springs, New York, and there was 1,100 kids, kindergarten through 12, and the year before I got there, they didn't score a touchdown. So maybe some of you were in a worse situation than my first coaching job. And I'll never forget, I was excited. I was just out of Penn State, and I got the job. Hell, I was planning everything for about 6 months before I got there. First day of practice, I had my shoes shined, I had the shorts on, and shirt, hat, I even had a damn whistle on, I had my socks perfect, and there was an old oak tree. Now remember, these kids didn't score a touchdown the year before. Up in the middle of New York State, I don't know whether you know what it is. That's almost like in Alaska. It's there's just nothing there but farmers. So I'm from the city of Pittsburgh, Penn State. I thought I was a big timer. There was about 25, 30, I don't know how many kids were out. We had 9 through 12 naturally, since there were so few kids. And it was me and one assistant coach. And they were laying underneath a big oak tree. I come walking out of the school. I'm halfway over, they start whistling at me. I looked around, I thought there was a broad around somewhere. Shit, they were whistling at me like I was a broad. From that time on, I never worried about how I dressed as a coach or anything. So that was my first introduction to coaching. And the thing I said to myself when I took a job, I said, I don't know, if the team doesn't score a touchdown, it's quite obvious they don't have any athletic ability. I said, well, there's one thing that I know that I can improve. I don't give a damn what type of kid I have. I can teach them to at least get on somebody and stay on them. And the first year we won one, tied one. Next year we won the championship there. And I really believe, and what I find that most coaches don't believe, they don't believe you can block the guy opposite you. And I always felt you can. Now if a guy's we were playing Tennessee once, and they had White, that guy for the Eagles. And, we went in that game thinking we could block him. We come out of the game knowing we couldn't. So there are some advantages. You learn some shit, over time. But the point I'm trying to say is, if your head coach doesn't believe, if your line coach doesn't believe, you're always looking for angles to block somebody, and then you're going to just try and dick them all the time. I honestly believe you teach a kid, and you work with them, and you give them fundamentals, and you take time to coach them, and you get enough time during practice. The thing I always fight for, since I've been a coach, when I started out as a head coach, and we used to go minimum hour, most time we go hour and a half on fundamentals. And I was in 4 high schools, and all 4 of them lost before I got there, and we won at all 4 of them. And I'm telling you, most days we'd go out and go an hour, hour and a half of fundamentals, and we'd go team maybe, I don't know, a half hour or something like that. And we'd teach kids how to play football. And it paid off, and the thing I always have to fight for at Notre Dame is the same thing. We have to write a critique down at the end of the season what you have to do. And I put down the same thing. Every guys write books out, we should have done this in this situation, should have done that. And I just put down, I need more time to develop my linemen. I said, Coach Holtz is a great team man. I'm not saying what he's doing is wrong, but I look at it from my point of view, what he expects from me. I'm always looking for more time. If they gave me 2 hours a day, I'd take 2 hours a day to work on fundamentals. I never get bored in fundamentals. My fundamental time, sometimes I will get 45 minutes to 50 minutes. It seems like 5 minutes. We go team for 45 minutes, seems like 3 days. So, if there's one thing I believe in, is that you can teach a kid. When I first went coaching, my father was a great baseball guy. I was the youngest kid in the family. I was the only one that was ever allowed to play football. I guess because the other 3 ended up stinking in baseball, he figured he might as well let me do what I wanted to do. When I was leaving, though, for my first job, the only thing he said to me, he says, teach them to aim their pads like we used to take batting practice every day. I was in Pittsburgh. It wasn't snowing. He was pitching, and I was hitting. He said, teach them to aim their pads like I taught you to aim the bat. And what he meant was repetition, repetition, repetition. And I don't think you can never give a kid enough reps. I'm a rep guy, and you just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And I'd like, everybody say, well, you're at Notre Dame. Well, that's true. We have some pretty good players at Notre Dame. But I wish we got every kid that everybody says we get. Now, if any of you ever had blue chippers and we come in, I'm quite sure we didn't get all of them. In fact, this year is the first time, this is going on my 6th year at Notre Dame, that we went after 2 tackles and we actually got them. That's the first time that we actually got 2 tackles that I wanted. So I hope to hell they're as good as I think they are. But one's 6'6" and one's 6'7". They're both about 290. They can run. So, we do have good players there, but I don't think we dominate as far as talent's concerned. But I do think, I don't care what school you're in, I think you can learn to move the ball if you're lineman going to get a piece of somebody. Now, I will go over trap, a couple other things. What I'd like to do, if those who are interested actually in a trap, in between break or after my second talk, we'll sit down, we'll draw it up. But I think if you just do the fundamentals, whatever play you're going to run, it's going to work. Now, these are things that I teach, and I've taught them for a long time. I always have conflict with Coach Holtz on one thing. When you're in your stance, he wants you with your heels out. And I do not believe in heels out, so naturally I do not coach heels out. So about every 2 weeks he notices the damn kids aren't in their stance with their heels out. He goes only kicks their heels out and he hollers at me. I say, damn, Coach, we've been trying to work on that. We just haven't got that far yet. So he kind of looks at my ass. He comes back and wants to fire me about every 2 weeks. I think, and what I do, I don't know what you people do. I will take films, teams we play, and we get close-ups in college, everybody we play. Plus, I will get close-ups of I'd say 7 or 8 pro teams every year, a minimum of 7 or 8 pro team. And I'll just sit there and I'll watch each kid. Like Munoz is probably as good an offensive lineman as ever played the game. Now, I've been fortunate. I had a kid named Grimm who made the all-decade team, a kid named Covert made an all-decade team in the 80s, and Bill Fraley. I had 3 kids that we had at Pitt. Now, I guarantee you they were blue chippers. I didn't have too much to do with their shit, But I studied them when I had them, and I study to this day. I get films, and I study them, and I talk to coaches. I believe about 10% of what coaches tell me, and I believe 100% of what I see on film. If you want to be a coach, get people's film and study them. If you want to be a coach, when I first started out, I can't think of many schools, because I'm from out east of the Mississippi, that I didn't visit in the spring. I very seldom went to a clinic like you people are. I took my time, and I went to take a week a year, and then to go visit some down at Duke or Florida or Georgia, Tennessee, something like that, and spend a week there or half a week, find out where the spring ball was, and I go out and watch the guy coach. And I thought it was a great experience for me. And I did it for 18 years when I was in high school. And I think what you have to do, you want to be a coach, forget what the hell the plays are, forget the schemes. In like 18 years, I never had a playbook in high school. Did not have a playbook. Didn't have a goal line defense. People say, why don't you have? I said, some bitches shouldn't be down there to begin with. And we now work a half hour on goal line. Right away, you're teaching the kids. That and a kick. If you have a great kickoff return, you got a serious problem there too. I never worked on that shit. I said, just fall on it or anything. Get us the ball back. Now, I'm serious. I never had a goal line defense, ever. But to me, that was negative coaching. If they get down there, they're probably going to score them because I'm only going to change when they get down there. But I believe in fundamentals. I believe you have to teach a kid that he can block. Our goal for next season, in our winter workouts, I told the kids, I said, I've been thinking about it, and there's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't have the best line in the country. Period. That's our goal. I thought we did last year. I thought we did the year before. Somebody else might think different. I don't give a shit what anybody else thinks. We judge our kids by how they perform. And right now our goal is once again to have the best line in the country. Whether we reach it or not, I don't know. But I let them with that. We're going into spring with that goal. And never ever let a kid think that he can't accomplish something. Now what you got to do is find your 5. Now I guarantee you we're not too deep. I find my 5. I got the tight ends on the run too, so I coach 6 kids in a running game. And they have to think that they are unstoppable. That we're going to, somehow, we're going to get under people, we're going to block them. Now, going back to the fundamentals. I want them to toe out a little wee bit, the weight's on the balls of the feet, and once again, I've watched almost every pro team you think of. We get a close-up, I look down, and I've yet to see one offense or defensive player, maybe you'll find one, I have yet to see one with heels out and toes in. I've yet to see one. And we specifically, I get there with the other coaches, and I try and get them there, the coach of running backs, whatever they're coaching. I say, you know, that doesn't happen. People say it, and it doesn't happen. Another thing I've never seen, which I know a lot of people, when they start their drills, they run their feet in place. My kids, my offensive linemen are never, if we go to a defensive drill, and he says, blah, 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 I say, no, we just sat there. Because I'm not going to teach my kids something wrong. It looks good, everybody feels good, it teaches quick feet, but I've sat there and I've taken all those drills, because we definitely film it during our winter program, and you take it, you watch it, the kid's running his feet, and as soon as you ask him to move, he has to stop and then move. We're not going to teach anything to anybody that doesn't pertain to what he's doing in the ball game. I don't want my kids running their feet, have to settle, and then move. So my kids never have a drill where they run their feet in place. Once again, heels out, weight on the balls of their feet. Just like if you're going to jump for a rebound. You tell somebody to get out and jump, you tell him to put his heels out and jump, he'll jump 4 or 5 inches shorter than he would. Balls of the feet. Hands under chin. I don't want the hands way out. I want you to start in an athletic position. To be a football player, I don't care where you play, you have to be an athlete. No matter what he does, if his feet aren't under him, he will not be successful. If he is successful, it's because the kid he's playing against stinks. Eventually he's going to play against somebody pretty good. You cannot play football unless your feet are under you. You can't play basketball, you can't play baseball, can't play golf, you can't play anything. So as soon as the kid's feet are not under him, he's wrong. It's wrong. I don't give a shit. It doesn't work, and it ain't going to work. So we want toes out a little bit, balls of feet, hand under your chin. And no false movement on anything he does. Now, a lot of teams are successful when they come out to block, they'll bring their arms back like this and they come up and under. The Washington Redskins have done it, a lot of teams have done it. I'm not saying that's wrong. That's one thing that I do not have conflict with people that teach it. But this much I do know. At contact, the elbows, in fact, any football player, I don't give a where, his elbows should never leave his side. His elbows should never leave his side. And if I'm watching one of my kids from behind and he's blocking, and I can see his elbows, he's not performing a block the way we want it. So we want our elbows in. That way I don't have to spend a whole lot of time on placing the hand placement. What I found that too much the kids get their hands up too high. I just want their elbows in. That makes them an athlete, doesn't get them off balance, doesn't get them whacked out. When I first started coaching, people actually taught this. Now, I'm not too damn bright, but I knew that shit was wrong. The reason why I knew that was wrong was I grew up, it snowed, and the cars would get stuck. If you got behind a car and tried to push a son of a bitch like this, they wasn't going to move. So every time I pushed a car, I got like this and I pushed it. I said, how the hell can I block somebody, which is no more than pushing, like this? So that was back in 1959 when this was what everybody taught, wide base or something, stuff like that it was. You just have to use your mind a little bit. And I went and asked people, and they said, that's right. And now, most of the things I'm telling you, the part about the car, I thought about that. That might be the only thing I ever thought of myself. Now, the first step is the single most important step, and everybody knows it. They're all things that everybody's talked about and stuff like that, but I'm talking about you have to believe it, you have to work on it, you have to do it, and you can never, ever give into it. So the first step is the most important step, because all it does is get in your position. Now, you got to be on balance all the time, and you have to be square on your block. If the goal line's there and I'm blocking, I have to be square. Anytime I get turned, it better be for some specific play where I want to be going in this angle, but then that would be square. Just like if I'm trapping somebody. That is square. I'm not saying that's not square if I'm trapping. But on any time I'm handing the ball, we're coming out behind the line, whether it's a tailback or fullback. Somehow or another, my first step or my second step, I must end up square, at contact, or as I make contact, I must work to be square. Just the same as a running back must be square. You have to end up square. Now naturally, if you're running the ball around in, the back is going to turn his shoulders to get out there. But once he decides to run the ball, he has to square up so he can make his moves. It's no different with the offensive line. So the things we're striving for is feet under you, square. Now there's two types of leverage. You're going to get up-down leverage. Here's his pads, here's your pads. That's the next thing you have to work on all the time. Leverage, that's your aiming point, where you're going to hit them, and you got to get under pad. You're always going to work under pad, until it's on the goal line. You get too low, then you're just going to come out and drive them with your legs and knees. So you got this leverage, and all your drills you have to do it, and the other leverage is inside. That's why your elbows have to be in. So I have up-down leverage and in-out leverage. Everybody understand what I'm saying? So I want leverage this way, and then from the back, that's why my elbows I got to get my hands inside. When we go one-on-one with our defensive linemen, and we get a good drill going, it's hard to tell whether I'm on offense or they're on offense, because we both try for the same thing. He tries to get his shoulder pad under my helmet. I try to get my shoulder pad under his helmet. He tries to get his hands inside my hands, and we try to get my hands inside their hands. Any questions on anything we're going over so far? So we want balance at all times. The first step is to get us in a position. If I'm going to block somebody who's right here, and it's a base block, naturally my first step isn't much. If I have to hook somebody, just to overemphasize it, and he's out this wide, my job is I have to get square. I don't give a damn if I have to pull, whatever I have to do for how wide he is, until I come up and I'm going to square up on my block. I have to get square up on my block. So the first step is just getting you in a position to block. Now, naturally, I think everybody realizes the next two steps are the ones that make how fast you can get into them and how fast you can get your feet on the ground. You get your feet on the ground faster than he does, and once you get that, then you accelerate like hell. By accelerating, I mean just accelerate and just go like you're full sprinting a guy once you've made a contact. We're just talking about a base block, and more likely when we're coming off like that, we're giving the ball to the fullback. We will talk a little bit, if I remember in my notes, to go over the difference between giving the ball to a fullback or giving it to a tailback. Now, we go over this all the time. We do it all the time. And in my lifetime, I have talked to, 5,000, I don't know how many coaches. And I get on their film. Most of them want to make contact with their helmet. The first thing you do, we want to make contact with our shoulder. Like I say, is on balance. If you're going to try and make contact with your helmet, I don't give a damn. The first thing it's going to do is it's going to get you overextended. If a kid reaches like this, you have to. Remember our rule is stay on balance. The only way you can bring your feet up under you is if you take contact with your shoulder. If you want to make contact with your helmet, and I've watched it, and I watch it, the helmet's going to come out, and you're going to start laying out like this. Before you know it, your feet are behind you. We want to make contact with that doesn't mean we do not make contact with our helmet. We're not going to avoid contact with our helmet, but our goal is to get our shoulder on his chest. Our goal is to get our shoulder on his chest. If, in doing that, some part of his body's in our way, naturally we're going to take our helmet through it. But our goal is not to put our helmet on him, get our helmet out, and get our hands out in front, and our feet come behind. Another drill that I think might be about as bad as any, if you block a bag over the boards. Now maybe some of you do it. I wish you'd send me a film on it, because I've seen people do it. I've seen films on it. I've yet to see a guy blocking the boards where he doesn't end up like this. Head down, feet back, and they're taking a little short, choppy steps, which are of no meaning. Your steps are as much as you can get at any particular time. I've seen my centers playing against a great nose guard. Their first step is back, because the guy kicks their ass. As he snaps the ball, they can't even step forward, which we teach step and snap. He's trying to step, and boom, the guy, they'll come back. One of the greatest centers that ever lived, played for Alabama and Miami Dolphins. Stevenson, I believe his name was. And I watched hour and hour of filming him. He almost always took a step back. on any play. But then all of a sudden he got his shoulder on their chest, got his hands inside, and his feet accelerated. Looked like he was in low gear with one of those trucks that are on TV. And boom, the guy would go right the hell out of there. So, you know, the first step, people say, I want a short first step. Well, hell, here's a guy stepping backwards. I've seen my linemen go out and hit a guy and hardly get their first step down because the guy's coming off so hard. So we got to fight like hell just to get it done. Sometimes it's just no more than up and down. So, and sometimes the guy will be off and we can take a large step. But all the first step is to get you in position for that second and third step. And then once you get in that and you get leverage, you have this leverage, and you have inside leverage, and you're able, even close, you should be able to get movement on it. Any questions so far? These are the things we do. We do them every day. We do them all day, as long as he'll let me. I'm not on the kicking game, so I do sneak in 20 minutes or half hour before that. So we want leverage hands, hands in, elbows. Stay square, and we do not say anymore, bring your feet. We tell them to bring their knees. Because I worked on bringing your feet, and for some reason, I had some kids understood it and some don't. We try and bring our knees to the block. So you're going to drive their knees and try and bring their knees up into the guy, which then brings your feet up onto you. The knees, we will drive forward with our knees. Now, again with the helmet, I have my aiming point. What I want to do, here's his helmet. I never ever want to clash helmets. If I'm teaching defense, the first thing I want to do is clash helmets, because now I'm going to keep that guy's body off my body. If I'm teaching offense, I'm going to come to this side of the helmet, come to this side of the helmet. As I'm going to this side of the helmet, and his helmet shows, I'm not going to avoid his helmet. I've got to look my block in. At all times, I must look in and kind of turn my head into the block once I get there. But I never want to clash helmets. If I clash helmets, it's keeping me away from his body. My goal is to get into his chest. I want to get into his chest like this and climb him, just like that. But by climbing him, I do not mean roll your hips. That's another thing since I've been coaching. I've never, ever has said roll your hips, because if you make a great block, it happens natural, and never teach something that happens natural. If you teach a kid to roll his hips, first thing he's going to do is stop his feet, that I've seen. Now, if he comes naturally, he comes underneath the guy, and he gets movement, and he's going to naturally, with movement, if his eyes are up, and he's on his chest, he will climb him. He will climb him, but that happens naturally. Rolling your hips is a term I've never believed in, I've never used, and as far as my linemen are concerned, nobody's allowed to say it to them. And we have a little real one-on-ones, and I'll show you one of my linemen rolling his hip, because the defensive guy put him right back on his ass. Now, if you want to teach rolling your hips, these are the things I believe. I don't care what you teach, to tell you the truth. But never teach rolling the hips. I'm not here to, you know, I'm like Rush Limbaugh. I just say this shit, and if you don't like it, that's the way it is. So we never teach rolling the hips. That's something that happens natural. We bring your knees to them. All right, now, we have one block. I just described it to you. I hope on this reel we have when I get to that. So I always square. I'm always on balance. I'm always searching for under, and inside. Under, inside, and I'm going to accelerate like hell. I want to go crazy on the block. Now, if I'm giving the ball to fullback, I come up, bam. The fullback's getting the ball, you know, is it 3.5 or 4 or 5, wherever you have them. Boom, we're off the ball. And anytime we're coming off the ball, bang, like that, there's always somebody coming to the gap inside us. If I'm a tight end coming like that, then there better be a tackle coming like that. The tackle's coming like that, the guard better be coming like that. And if the guard's coming to center, in other words, we're going to zone reach it, or whatever you want to call it. So anytime we're coming like this off the ball, just flying off the ball, then we're going to have somebody covering our backside, or is it a guy ducks underneath. And I don't know how many fronts you people see, but Bob Davey, you know, he's a good friend of mine. We coached together at Pitt. And in getting ready for us in the Cotton Bowl, he said, you know, he was looking for something different to give us, Notre Dame. And after you watch all of our games, he says, there's no defense in football that you guys haven't seen. Now that's what he said. I didn't say. I haven't gone over all these things. He was looking at this front, this, that. If you name it, we see it. I don't give a shit. We see 9-man, 8-man, guys going here. We were watching film the other day, and I looked at film and I said, anybody in this room ever see anything even resemble that? We were playing Pitt, and how the hell they lined up, I don't know. They lined up, and there was no way or rhyme or reason, but they figured they'd screw up our blocking assignment some way. So we see it all. Wherever it is, and stuff that has never been, I don't even know how the hell Pitt did it. And that was their defense coordinator. I coached with him at Pitt also. So I'm not telling you about, that we have these 5 techniques and stuff, They run all the field, so if you're giving the ball to fullback, you always have to cover his backside. I mean, the lead lineman. That's when we come off the ball. If I'm giving the ball to tailback, once again, the first step, I'm going to take my first step, but I can never move my inside foot until I see where the guy's going. If I got a 3 technique, a 5 technique, and actually if it's a center, if we're going to reach onside a little bit, but still, I'm going to have to step, getting square, getting whatever depth, whatever I need, maybe it's to him, maybe right. That's all I forgot to say. 99 times out of 100, step near foot. I think it's important because I forget it some damn time. When in doubt, teach your kid to step near foot to his block. Because you're going to say, well, what should I do in this play, coach? Just say, always tell them, step near foot and you'll be right. The near foot, whoever your guy's supposed to block, step near foot. And, it doesn't sound like much, but all I know is this. All the years of coaching, I still catch my ass. Or I haven't emphasized it enough, and the kid will step with the wrong foot. If you step near foot, I don't know when the hell you'll be wrong. And I think it's an important part. It's got to be in your thing every day. And I'll catch it. I don't do it. And so all of a sudden, I'll see a kid in a ball game not step right. Now, if I'm going to give the ball to tailback, when I step, the first foot, I can never move the back foot until I see where he's going. Now, we'll show you on films where the kids will do it, but what I don't want is ever step and bring the back foot forward where I know where somebody's going. So there's 2 different ways that we give the ball, one to the fullback and one to the tailback. On any double team we do, or down block. No, let's go down block first. I have no difference. I have the same blocking technique I do blocking here as I do coming out here block or blocking down. One thing on a down block that I've learned, I forget who the first guy, probably Dan Reddick, coach, first one that told me that, because he taught me mostly everything I do know, is you never step to a down block. You never step and make ground to a down block. I'll show you my kids doing it in the film, but we work on all the time. You just either turn on your heel or just kind of turn on your toe, but we prefer to turn on your heel. Never step. I'm blocking down a 3 technique, and I'm a tackle. All I want to do is turn. If I'm a center blocking back, all I want to do is turn. You should never make ground when you're blocking back or blocking down. Never make ground. Never. As soon as you start stepping, what's our first rule? Stay on balance. You're off balance. If he goes somewhere you're not expecting, you have no way in hell do you have a chance to recover. Now, if he's going to sit there and the guy's going to run upfield every time, then it doesn't matter. You can step anywhere you want, go out and bump into him. Anytime you're blocking down, blocking back, you should turn on the heel. See where he's going. Anybody got a question on anything? Now, on a double team, all a double team is as simple as this. Whoever you're doubling with, you step foot to foot, and the other opposite foot. If I'm the right tackle and the right guard, if I'm the right tackle, my right foot can never go in front of my left foot on a double team. By that, I don't mean if it's like this, but I mean you should never end up like this, because first thing it does is turn you. If I'm the right guard and I'm double team with him, my left foot can never end up in front of my right foot. Because our other rule is you have to stay square. As soon as you're not square, you're not in a position to come off on linebackers and so forth. If we run 500 or 1,000, I don't know how many double teams a year, if we 90% of the ones, or 100% almost, the ones we screw up, is where one of the guys will get his outside foot ahead of the inside foot. And you have to work on it, you have to work on it, work on it, work on it. They still won't get it as much as you want. But to me, like I say, you take batting practice, nobody's ever hit 1,000. But I'm damned you're still going to take batting practice or teaching baseball. And nobody's ever shot 1,000% shooting foul shots, but they still go out and practice it. I don't get 1,000% or 100% on my blocks, but I'm damn sure going to work towards that goal. And on my double teams, you'll see, you'll say, well, look at it. He said they do, and they don't. Well, we go back out and we work on the damn thing again. You must always stay square, and you're better off with your right tackle facing out and your left guard facing out than you are of anything like this. As soon as you get anything like this, he's going to split the double team, and you no longer have a double team, and you can't come off on anybody. So you must stay square, and you have to emphasize. You can't overemphasize, and we'll drill it every day. The blocks we have base, we have down block, we have double team. And our double teams will be onside and backside. We'll do that every day. We'll do base, we'll do reach, we'll do down block, we'll double team onside, and we'll double team backside. Maybe people do it automatically, but we work on it, that you never ever come out of this position on the double team. When you come off on a double team, whether you're double teaming onside or backside, who's ever coming off has to come this way and lead with that foot. If I'm coming this way and this foot's in front, it's easy for me to step off. If I got anything like this, I can't get backside. Any questions on that? Now, I played it, well, more important than anything else in line play is do like we did this year. Get yourself Jerome Bettis and Brooks. Because if you don't really make a good block, you got a chance for a touchdown anyway. Jerome Bettis, well, he had a chance to be all-pro, and Tony Brooks averaged 8 yards a carry. In the history of Notre Dame, George Dipp, you might have seen him on TV or his name was mentioned one time, he averaged 8.1. And we had a long run call back against Southern Cal where he had the most yards per carry in the history of Notre Dame. And you get two backs like that, then all these other blocks that look a little bit simpler. Now we're going to get serious on that stuff too. But a play that we really, the last 2 years, it didn't become good, our trap play, until we quit making calls on it. We come up and we're going to run a trap. You know, sometimes they say, well, we'll trap or we'll you know, give a fake lead and then trap the middle backer or reach outside and run a trap. When we call it trap, we're going to run the trap. And we're going to take it, we're going to run it, we're going to run our pattern, and we're just going to run it. And naturally, we're like anybody else. We want to trap a 3 technique. But if you give us a true 50 front, we'll trap either side. The reason why we don't like to run a trap to the 50 front is the eagle down the backside, you have trouble getting the backside backer. But if it's any kind of true 50 or 4 eyes or something like that, we're going to run the trap. We'll run the trap, and it's the same basic premise as we have on any other play we have. Our rule is get pad under, keep your hands inside, get your leverage, and just run through people. Now, I'll just drop the trap, and Bettis, last year, not last year, season before, I think he's averaged 8.9 yards a carry, and this year he averaged 6.9 on the trap. Now, needless to say, we won't average that next year. Even we block it, but I don't think we'll average that much because of the type of back he is. Some guys can just naturally read it. But basically, on the trap, all I want to do on a trap, I have a 3 technique. I don't care what the 3 technique does. I'm going to release through his inside shoulder. It's up to him what he's going to do. I'm going to just step inside, get position. I'm going to release up through the 3 technique. If it's a 5 technique, I'm going to do the same thing. It's a 5 technique, I'm going to release inside. And remember, that whole thing is leverage. I get my pad under his pad, whether it's a 5 technique or a 3 technique. And once I start inside and I start upfield, if I don't have leverage on him, naturally I'm not going to get the linebacker, I'm not going to perform my thing. And I'm going to just drive up through and strain up through him. I'm going to release a little bit from him, but I'm not going to try to avoid him. Understand? I'm just going to go through the inside tip of his shoulder pad. I'm going to drive straight upfield, looking for onside backer, and then go backside backer. If it's a 3 technique. The key to the whole thing is that you can, no matter what happens, if he crosses your face, if he just logs on you, you stay on your path. Just stay on your path. Don't let him knock you off, and strain up through. And if you do that, and the only other important thing in the damn trap, the guy pulling is not that important, is the center. he has to get a minimum of a stalemate. And if he gets movement, I don't care what they do on defense, you're going to get 4 or 5 yards. If your center can get movement, and your guard or tackle, whichever one you're trapping, gets up through, all we want to do is just get some movement up in there. And I'm not talking about 4 or 5 yards movement. We just get upfield about, I don't know, 2, 3 feet with that guy coming through. And our center gets any movement at all, we're going to get 4 or 5 yards off our trap. And all the guard pulling, he only has one rule. As he drop steps, his upfield foot just stays upfield. Under no circumstances can this foot come even or back. It has to stay upfield. So when he drop steps, this foot has to stay upfield. That's why you got to get a little bit out of your center. Even so, if we drop step, we get off our center, and this foot has to work upfield. And that's the only coaching point in it. Naturally stay low for leverage, but just work this foot upfield. And the trap, we're playing, 2 years ago, we're playing Florida. And they have 2 of the best defensive tackles in football. They're playing over our guards. And they run a lot of stunts with them. Bettis hit one for about 60 yards for a touchdown, hit another for about 40 yards for a touchdown, and both times, as our left guard releases inside, the guy squared up on my guard and worked across my guard's face. My guard took him, backside guard pulls, sees the guy cross his face, just wraps around, runs into the backer, Bettis comes up, jumps, and he hits it, there ain't nobody there. They try to cut off our trap. Up until that time, we get a 2 technique, you know, we're going to pass set, we're going to go here, look out, come here, trap that guy. We said, no, and we'll do this drill every day. We'll go out and run our trap drill every day. Our guard's going to zone step and just fire out, just like he's blocking air. And if somebody comes in there, he's going to block that area. And this year, about the 4th game, Coach Holtz went back and he's put a couple calls in. We're not ran the trap, and I think we averaged less than a yard. You know, we're going to outsmart some people. He said, well, let's go back and run it the way we ran it before. And if you just stay with the trap and run it, we do not like to run it to a 5 technique when there's an eagle down to the backside. But if you get 2 5 techniques, we will run it. If you get 2 4 technique, we will then release outside unless we think our kid's a lot better in a 4 technique, then we'll come across his face. But we will release outside on 2 4 techniques. If you get double eagle, I think it's the best play in football against double eagle. You trap down, you just trap that 3 technique. Block back, trap, send your both tackles for that middle backer or wherever they might happen to line up the backer. Any questions on anything so far? If I got a 2 technique, you know, we get a 2 technique and a guard set, you know, go out and attack him down, all that shit. He's a 2 technique. We're going to release through his inside shoulder. Now he can do what he wants. He logs on us, our guard's going to come up and trap the backer. Whatever we get, you understand? Wherever his inside shoulder is, inside shoulder here, we're going to release straight through it. If inside shoulder's there, we're going to release, we're going to come like this. If his inside shoulder's there, we're going to come right through his inside shoulder and go upfield no matter what. And we'll trap the backer. And we do it, and I screwed around with that trap all my life, and we started doing it 2 years ago. And we don't play anybody. We had Jerome Bettis. They don't win the game saying the first thing you got to stop is Jerome Bettis because he's one of the best backs he's the best back I've ever been around. I'm not saying he's as good as somebody else seen. The guys I've been on the field with, he's by far the best back. People say we are not going to let him run the trap. We ran trap on everybody. Except the one game, we went back to cute talk. You know, you're going to go here, you're going to go here, and, you know, trap the backer, you know, give him Mike call and drop back and bring the guard around, and then we'll reach him and stuff. We went that one game and we threw that out again. We will run that trap and we're going to block it that way. We're going to go through that guy's inside shoulder. If it's a 4 technique, we think we can take him down, we'll release inside the shoulder. Our rule is always the same, release through the inside shoulder. If it's a guy that they play him, we're not sure, but the only time that we will go around on a 4 technique, that has happened maybe once, that we'll release around. Remember, we're going to release through the inside shoulder no matter where the hell it is. Now, if a guy is all the way in the A gap, then we'll block down and trap the next guy out. But if he's touching us, we'll release through his inside shoulder on our trap. 2 foot. Our basic split is 2 foot and 3 foot. And like any other kids, you get in a ball game and it's fourth quarter, tight ball game, you're down about a foot and a half or foot and a foot and a half, because they're not dumb. They know the closer they are, the more they can depend on one another, you know. I would say when you get in a tight ball game and it's really tight, our kids will shorten their splits on their own. So any kind of double team, shit, and if it's a tight ball game, they're gonna line up foot to foot, you know, so they get that. You know, we don't teach it, but they're not dumb. They say, shit, I'm gonna get a double team. You know, I'm gonna get it right now. You know, so maybe we teach them wrong sometimes. I know Joe Bugle, I think you know who he is. I've talked to, you know, most of this stuff I didn't think up myself, I guarantee you. 99% I learned from people. Bugle's in the National Football League, and they used to run that zone play. Every time they run it to the right, the right guard and tackle will line up like this. And I'm talking to him, I said, how the hell do you do that? He said, well, we do it. I said, don't they know it? He said, I don't know. He says, every time we're going to run the zone, they do it, and nobody's ever caught on to it. You know, that's when he was, I said, well, shit, if you can do it, I'll try it, you know. And that's in the National Football League, and, you know, I guess those guys have a little sense in there that we're playing defense. So I never get overexcited about splits. If they sneak in too much, I don't get too mad about it. I don't think you have to get big wide splits, but say we run a trap, everybody get way out. I don't. They're 2 foot. Sometimes we'll be inside that. Anybody else got a question on splits? Let's see what before I'm going to go over, make sure I go over. Make sure I didn't forget anything here. Once again, on double teams, you got to stay square. You got to stay square in every block. The number one thing it kills you in any play is penetration. Just don't allow penetration. Give your backs a chance to run. And believe me, there's nobody knows more than I do the importance of running backs. When Reggie Brooks started to come on this year, our kids went crazy. We found out they had a running back like that. That psyched our lineman up. They said, holy shit, Coach, we block a little bit, he's gone. You know, and that's important, that you teach them the value. When you have somebody that's good, teach them the value of blocking for them. Now, if you're pulling the kick-out block, let's say we run that G scheme to the tight end side. What we try and do with our guard pull, and all of our pulls are just drop step. Like I say, first step to get you in position to run. Your first step in football to get you in position, and that's the same with your stance. I forgot to go over that in the stance. On a stance, all a stance is, I've had kids with various types of stance. All I want out of a stance is a kid to be able to perform whatever I'm asked for. And that's here on our level. We have to block down, we have to reach, we have to pull to the right, we have to pull to the left, we have to pass set. Everything you can think of, we have a offense we run, I don't know what the hell we don't run. The number one thing on our stance, when I'm finally done with the stance, as long as he doesn't have a false step, his stance is all right. As long as he doesn't have a false step and he can get on his first and second step, he can get in balance and he can stay square. So I'm not a big stickler, you know, on stance. You know, I'm a big stickler. If we start performing and he can't perform, then I'm going to take his ass. I'm going to work and work and work on his stance so he can perform without any false movement. Another thing on the center, I mentioned it before, and we work our ass off on it. The step before you snap. Step before you snap. Now, I'll show you our center, snapping and stepping, but I'll tell you, every day we go out and we get a guy to watch the ball and watch his foot. We'll say, all right, step with your left foot so we can see. Step, snap. Then we'll say right foot. Step, snap, and then we watch it. And you work and work and work on it. Now, our center we have is getting pretty good now. He's almost stepping and snapping at the same time. We almost got him where he's doing the two at the same time. In the past, when we worked, you know, we snap, and then the step was always late. And we work on, we'll go out 3 or 4 minutes every day, we steps and then snap. Step, snap, step, snap. And if you can get him where he steps, and then he pulls the ball, he's going to have a hell of an advantage over that nose guard. And to me, if you get 2 tackles that can block, you get a center that can block, you can run. You can run the ball. I don't give a shit. You get those 2 positions, or those 3 positions. The center that can block a nose, 2 tackles that get on people, you can run the football. You always get guards to screw around and do something. But yeah, that's the guys you have to have. Naturally, a tight end. We've been very fortunate our tight end again this year will probably go in the first 10 picks. Now, he might not, but I guarantee you, if you're watching that draft, and you see Irv Smith's name come up early, don't think that somebody's taking a chance on somebody. He's about 252, runs about a 4.65, and he'll knock the shit out of you and catch the ball either hand like picking an apple off a tree. But the main thing, and I've talked to pro team, the main thing they want out of their tight end is a blocker. Now, whether they're lying to me or not, that's what they tell me. The first thing at tight end, that's the first thing that we want out of any of our linemen, in particular our tight end. He has to be able to block. So, you know, all those guys have to contribute. Now, oh, I meant to tell you, on the pulling guard. If I'm pulling, what I want to do, we'll run the G scheme where we hand the ball to the fullback, you know, double team, kick out or else block down, tight end down, and kick out. That's a big play for us. What we don't want to do, when we're kicking out naturally, I'm going to work my foot up just the same as any trap. What I don't want to do is when I'm going to log them, where I get depth and this, once again, this left foot come over the right. Now, when we're going to log them, I don't care if it comes just about even with him, but never. He steps like this, and we're going to log that guy over the end. Never have this foot come over, because as soon as this comes over, that comes over, and before you know it, he's going to read you. Because they have pretty good guys. He's going to read that guard with depth, and he's going to skate like hell. Sometimes we will take too much inside on them, and we can't get them hooked. Well, if they're playing like that, they might have just guessed right. If they're playing like that all the time, then we should be able to run the G scheme on them. We should be able to run a power play up in there. But if he just happened to guess right, there's nothing you can do about it. But I think you're better off doing that than having him, you know, come deep when you're taking the ball wide and coming shallow when you're taking the ball inside. And the key to that is just make sure, from what we have found, is this foot, when you're going wide, never crosses over this foot. And if he just keeps this foot in there, he'll give that guy enough of an angle that he'll put a little dot in his mind. As soon as he shows depth, if that guy's pretty good, he's going to jump outside. You're going to have trouble getting him down. How much time do we have left here now? I just went over any question on run block. I might have missed something that we teach, and believe me, these are not things that Joe Moore set out at Notre Dame or Richfield Springs and thought of. I can't remember how many guys I've talked to, and I'm talking about people that considered as great a coach, line coaches that ever lived. And I never, when I was young, I never ever asked one person for what play they ran or what defense they ran. I said, how did your defensive tackle play? How did your offensive lineman? And most of the time I spent time with offensive linemen, even when I was head coach. And that's from Joe Bugle to Dan Radakovich. I can't go on. I remember, I'd never been on this side of Mississippi when I was in high school. But Jimmy Sharp, I don't know if you guys remember him down in Alabama. I've been all over it. And if the guy was known as a line coach, I went there and I talked to him, I watched him coach, and these are the things that I've learned from those people. And I still do it to this day. Anytime a pro coach comes through, and I try and go to a college every year, I try to go to a couple pro camps, just go up and watch them coach and see what they're teaching. And it seems like the good ones are always emphasize the same thing. Get leverage, get inside, get balance, and get your damn knees up into the block and get on his chest. If I, boom, get on his chest, I get on his chest, that guy's got problems. All right, any questions go on run block? There might have been something I forgot that I've learned over the years.
Coach.
Yes.
For the most part, do your offensive linemen line up in the same stance regardless of the play?
We want them, that's right. That's what I said. The only thing I teach on a stance, if I put a kid in a stance, I'll say, go this way, go that way, go this way, go that way, go that way. Pass that inside, pass that inside, pass that back. If you've got to take a false step or change a stance, we start all over again. That's the only coaching point I have on stance. You have to do everything required of you out of your stance without taking a false step, or else it's a shitty stance. Once you can do those things, then it's a solid stance. So I'm not as specific on head, tail here, head there, although I want your hand in under. I want your hand out front because it brings you off balance. Because I don't know if that explains to you or not. So that's basically, that's it on the run. Now I do have a film here. We're going to go over we have a film of the fundamentals that we try and go over either in the summer or the kids do in the spring. I'm going to do that in the second session, and with pass and run, and I'm going to try to go over it exactly how I teach from that. I'll show you kids doing it right, show you kids doing it wrong. My graduate assistant made the film up. I didn't specifically get out some great blocks, although he did pull out a couple blocks there that we don't normally perform, but we found a couple. You know, the kids kicked the shit out of somebody. I mean, really bad. Believe me, we don't do that as often as anybody would even hope for. I guarantee you. We struggle blocking people just like everybody else. We get against a great one, we sometimes he kicks our ass no matter who my lineman is. So it's no different for us than it is for you. All right, just a little bit on pass blocking. How much time do we have here? The same thing on pass blocking, and we'll go over, first of all, a center, whether he's covered or not, a center on pass protection has to always set with a little bit of depth. The number one thing you want to remember on pass blocking is you want to make sure that the guy over you can't get to the guy next to his hip. Because as soon as you let him to that guy's hip, then any kind of twist or stunt or anything are going to work. If you're uncovered, you want to make sure nobody gets to your hip. So the main thing, the first thing you start off with is nobody gets to anybody's hip. Because as soon as one guy, if a guy gets to my hip here, and they bring a guy here, now this guy got his choice. Either block the guy on me that's got me beat, or pick up the guy coming around. Because there ain't no way in hell I can block him. Once he gets to my hip, he's by me. Now they got 2-on-1. So the number one thing that you have to remember on your pass sets, they're talking about drop back pass or play action pass. You know, you run the fake the, make sure nobody gets anybody's hip. So when in doubt, all I'm saying, when in doubt, set with a little bit of depth. Particularly, make sure that nobody can get your hip. Now, if I'm a center that's uncovered, I want to set a little deeper than my guards. Now, if the center's uncovered, the guard's covered, now the guards get set a little more solid. But only to the point, where's that, those things you got here? Even if we're like this, that center has to set. I don't mean set back now, don't get me wrong. Make sure he doesn't set forward. Make sure he doesn't set forward. Anytime, now as soon as you get him uncovered, on any kind of drop back pass, as soon as you get him uncovered, he damn sure better set with a little more depth than these people. We never want him setting forward. Never want him setting forward where somebody come up and get on his hip. As soon as somebody gets on his hip, remember, somebody's coming clean, no matter what the hell they're running. So never, and this guy cannot let somebody on his hip. That's why the center's there and he steps forward and he snaps and boy's blocking his shot, all of a sudden somebody's running through there. So we'll go over to pass blocking. The number one thing that we work on all the time is never, ever, ever set where somebody can get on the center's hip or get on your hip. The next important thing that we teach, if you do these things, is never get beat inside unless you have help inside. Never let this guy beat you inside, never let him beat you inside unless you have the center set and you have 3-on-2. When in doubt, if that guy beats you upfield and he's kicking the shit out of you, you have a chance. But if he starts beating you inside, he's damn sure going to beat you outside, and your kid's going to just be swirling his head. So when I take young kids and I'm teaching them how to pass block, whether it's a center or guard or whoever it is, I give them one side. I always tell them, you know, we're thinking, it's a tackle. I say, we're thinking we're not going to get beat inside. Until I get them good at shutting off the inside, then I'll work for him blocking the outside. I will not teach him just set out, and take the outside rush off. All of a sudden the guy starts beating him inside, and the kid is totally confused. Then you got to start all back over and say, don't get beat inside, then take the outside. When I start off with my kids, I work on don't get beat inside. Don't get beat inside. With the centers and the guards, we're going to show you about the punch and stuff on the film that we have there. With the centers and guards, we want to say, like I always said, stay square, 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 square as much as you can. We want to keep our tackle square as much as we can. I know some people teach where they kind of run back almost like a secondary guy. And believe me, I've talked to every pro coach I've ever run into. Some of them teach it. The ones that I think are the best, now I might be wrong, maybe the other guys are the best. And I've talked to everyone because they come through our place all the time looking for players when we have our workouts and stuff like that. Our tackle will stay square as he can stay going back, but we're not going to try and kick step or whatever the hell they call that going back like that. And I don't care if a tackle's feet get like this. With the left foot, I'm playing left tackle, gets even with the right foot. I'm not going to say anything because I'm still in pretty good shape. But as soon as this left foot gets behind the right foot, I got a serious ass problem that I can't solve. He can go this way on me, he can go that way on me, he can go anywhere he wants. I want my centers and guards to stay square as much as we can. Square as much as we can. The tackle, I want to keep him square. I want to take off the inside. I want to set on his inside leg. Wherever his inside leg is, I want to split it. I want to split his inside leg if I'm playing tackle. As I'm setting back, I want to keep him right. That's going to keep him from taking the inside rush on me. Now, it's pretty hard to do that. If you're playing against a great player, it's hard to do it. But if you work on it, once again, it's just fundamentals. I'm going to split his inside leg. I don't want this leg to go behind. We just had a guy on Wednesday, a deep offensive line coach for pros, that was sitting there telling the guy to reach. And Tony Wise, one of my best friends, who just went from Dallas to Chicago. And that's where I says, Tony, did you do any of that? He said, well, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. He said, but I never seen anybody good do it. So I don't know what the hell it is. So Tony's my best friend, so I'd naturally believe him, even though he's wrong. But what I'm saying is, all you want to do, now if I'm the right tackle, it's the same thing. I want to slide, push off this foot as I'm sliding back, move both feet together if I possibly can, split his inside leg, and then I want to get my hands on him. We'll get that to a little bit. The thing that scares me most, like anybody else, is a split inside, and you get this rusher out here. I've taught in the past where if he's out wide enough, you kick off the inside foot first. Now, rather than confuse him too much, I just kind of set and then slide out there. This is the rush that's going to kill you. The next thing that's going to kill you is this guy right here getting upfield hard right there. Remember we say we want to stay square? If he gets upfield hard right there, and this tackle doesn't set with enough depth, they got right there a clear thing. This tackle, anytime you have a 3 technique, has to set with enough depth so that it doesn't put too much pressure on his guard setting flat. Because if he sets too solid, then any little movement here will put him on his hip, and anything coming around is going to come clean. So the tackle is the toughest job in pass protection. Whatever said, once he gets to a tight end side, he doesn't have all those things. Split inside, you got to work your ass off. You got to work on this guy beating him up here, but you're going to work and where that's the only place you're going to let him beat you. You're going to let him beat you out here. That doesn't mean you let him. You're going to force him to beat you out here. Don't give him 2 ways. If you sit there and you work on it and you give the guy a 2-way rush, he's going to drive your kid crazy. At least once, if you make him beat you here and you get solid here, now at least then you can teach your quarterback when he has pressure to step up. If you force everything out of Ryan, you can then, and you stay solid and stay square up in here, you can teach your quarterback to work back up. But if it starts breaking down this way, they start getting on the hips and they get penetration up the middle. Your whole pass protection is broken down, and your quarterback, I mean, you're about to have him crazy. He won't even want to play no more in that game. He'll get ready for the next one. So the thing you want to do is you want to be solid up front. Any pass rush, when you're first starting to teach kids, make it come outside, and then gradually teach those tackles. I'm talking about like in the spring, that's where we're going to work on. Now next fall, we hope that they'll be able to take that away from people. But we're not going to start off with just set out, set out, set out, and we're going to set and give ground in here, and then stop them. Don't let anybody get penetration up through here. And then we'll go a little bit over the on how we punch and stuff. And I have a film there on the fundamentals we teach. Anybody else got a question? Now on the trap and trap option, you want to, as soon as we're done here, I'll diagram it up to you, but we're kind of really, the trap we're always going to have. That's our base play. You're going to be playing Notre Dame, and I guarantee it's going to be like that for a long time. You're going to stop our trap, or we're going to run it 10, 15, 20 times a game. Anybody got a question? If you want to go over that trap and trap option, we'll draw it up, during the break. Everybody wants me to draw it up for them. How much time we got? You come up with... I punch, and then my feet move. And what I don't want is them feet move and punch. Once again, your feet have to be under you. So as I make my punch, that's when I slide. I hit them, I stop them, and I punch from the shoulders, right from the toes up through the shoulders. Now we'll try and go over this as we're doing it here. See how he's just kind of slapping it. He's kind of walking back. We have some more kids on here. This is Knapp. He was a senior this year. He'll probably be drafted in 3 or 4 rounds. See how he's always just slapping it? He's just slapping it. This film was from, I don't know how many years ago. See how there's no extension there? There's no extension. He's a kid we had just moved over for. He's just punching like this. He's just slapping it. All he's doing is just going like this. The punch should be just like this, right through from the shoulder. Got to come all the way through. Just the same. If you're going to punch somebody, you don't punch them like that. You lose every fight you're ever. You got to punch them. It's the same with us. It punches right through from the feet right through the shoulders. So these are bad punches here. See how we're not getting any extension there. Now, see there? Wait a minute, I keep pushing it wrong. See how he's dropping his hands too much. That's Taylor. He's a sophomore there. Let me slow this down. Oh, now that I slow it. Here we go. We do this drill all the time. These are all our pass protection drills where they learn to just slide their feet. And we never want the hands to drop, and their elbows should be inside, and they have to close to the corner. We keep that about 6 or 7 yards wide. And they slide with both feet. Now, see how he keeps his hands up? This is McGuire. He's with the Bear. Merkel. He's with the Bears. See how McGuire punch off to the side. You have to square up and stay in square and never punch off to the side, whether it's in a game. And remember, all these drills are things we think we're going to use in a ball game. And the thing I like about the drill, I don't know how the hell to stop this. What the hell is going on here? How come this still won't stop? I don't know what happened. I got it upside down. That's what the hell happened. You know, I'm not used to, we have those beta things. I'm not used to this stuff. I'm spoiled. We'll take this back here again. Now I got it now.
How far apart with the cone?
About 6 to 7 yards. If I could do one drill, if I could only do one drill out of season, my kids will do this all the time. They'll do it all summer by themselves. It teaches them to stay lateral, teach them to keep their hands up, to keep their elbows in, and teach them to punch and keep a person away from your body. And when I'm sliding over, here's the code. I never, ever, don't ever let them punch to the side. You'll see them do it. We get on their ass, and afterwards, if they don't do it well, we'll have them crab. Now, I'm talking about college kids at Notre Dame. I'd say piss on you. Crab 200 yards, you know, until you learn to do it. I'm not going to sit there and let a kid go half-ass on anything. And then say, well, what if he doesn't want to do it? Well, if he doesn't want to do it, I'm not going to coach his ass. I've never had a kid not do it. You ever crab 200 yards, instead of going out drinking, I just crabbed at a bar. You saw me, you won't drink too much, I'll tell you that. And they don't like it. I've had them crab up to 1,000 yards, not at one time, but in a day's practice. I'm not going to tolerate somebody standing there and loafing off to the side. Now, you see it here, these are drills, And as we go along and we get into the season, if I have to stay square. Remember my whole thing, I stay square, my elbows are in, and I punch from my toes, and you're just seeing kids that we're just really starting these drills. And this tape's pretty old, I should probably renew it. Your hand's got to be up, and it's a short punch. The hand should never drop. You'll see their hands drop. You'll see them punch to the side. You see their elbows out. That doesn't mean we're accepting it. That's why we're coaching them. If I could do one drill, this would be the drill I'd do without pads on. This, I would do it 10 hours a day before I do anything else. So one drill I'm going to make sure I get done. The kids learn to move laterally, they learn to move both feet at one time. When I first start teaching the drill, if we're going this way, I have them move the right foot first. If they're going this way, I want to move it like that. And then when they get good, they'll move both feet at the same time. They'll move both feet at the same time, so they're always on balance. When I first start teaching, I'll have a guy go this way. Sometimes I'll just have him maybe just slide 20, 30, 40. Sometimes I have him slide clear across the field, just moving this foot, just moving this foot, then coming this way, moving this foot, moving this foot, until when they get good. Now, some kids are never good enough athletes to do it, but I never want them to do this. The guy starts this way, and they go this way. Now, the guy comes back, they go this way, and then they go back. If a guy starts this way, I'm better off like this. Then when he comes back, I'm better off like this. Because remember what I said before, you always have to be on balance. Your feet, you can't play football without your feet under you. Some plays we have where we crab. When we crab, our goal is to get our feet under us. When we crab, you understand? Sometimes we have a reach block. The goal then, we don't get it, but our goal, when you crab, get your feet the hell up on you. I want you crabbing with your feet back here and your hands out there. We do not have anything we don't want our feet under us, and particularly in pass protection. Let's make sure I got this right, and we'll try and point out what we're doing. The kids will do this all summer. We have 60, 65 kids come to summer school every year, not for grades. There might be 3 or 4 there for grades. Most of them are there to take 6 to 9 credits, so they can take 12 to 12 credits, you know, in the fall and the spring to get ahead of things like that. All right, that light there? See right there? Let me get this. Let's just watch right here. See how he reached? I don't ever want him to reach, but he is trying to keep his hand. See him punch a little bit to the side. Just a short punch, a little bit to the side. I want him in front. See, no punch. Now we're just going to give him one move on the kid. See his how do I rewind this? Watch, see his right foot there? Let me run this back again. Watch his right foot go back. This kid right here now. Watch his right foot go back. See he go back? He's not staying square. If the guy is coming, if I'm like this, and the guy's coming here, I have to kick this foot to stay square. If a guy's coming in, he drops like that, he's a guard for us. Remember I said the guard's got to stay square. He drops like this, Bryce, he's opened up, the guy can get to our tackles hip. But you have to stay square in everything you do. This drill, I just like the hell out of this drill. We do it year-round. This was starting in the spring about 3 years ago. I forget how long ago it was. All right, here's just our pass sets now. This is what our tackle was overset in here. See him overset? Let me run it. That left foot you just move. Watch him overset. See his left foot? He's setting out too far, he's going to get beat inside. Watch his hands come up too late. And another thing he's doing, if you're any pass, I don't give a shit what position you're playing, you have to move your foot before you set. If you don't, you roll. If you watch him, he's kind of moving both together and he rolls. If you're rolling to a pass set, that guy's going to beat you. You're going to be too slow. If I'm a tackle or guard, I have to move this foot to get up. I'm in my stance, I got to move the foot gets me up. If I just do no more and lift the foot up and down, I have to move the foot to get up. And as much as we work on it, we'll get a game back, and I'll look at the film, and I'll have one of my damn guys rolling into his stance. It might be a left tackle, it might be the right guard, who it is. The guy's out wide, he's like this, and he rolls, and then he steps. You have to step. You have to step to get up. And I think it's damn important, and you have to work on it. We'll get this thing running here now. He should just move his right foot slightly, get up. That's not bad right there. Right foot and punch. Now, when they get good, we're going to punch the inside of the number. As soon as the guy turns his shoulders, we're punching the inside of the number, our hands should come together. If he gives us the shoulder, if we get good, we should hit the shoulder with our hands like this. And once again, these are all goals we're working for.
What is your opinion on starting at 2 point?
The thing I don't like about a 2-point, if he's a great athlete, it doesn't matter. Remember I said about his stance? The thing about his stance, if you have any kind of false movement, if he gets in a 2-point stance, pull left, pull right, pass set, go forward, go to an angle, then it doesn't matter what the stance is. But if you get him a 2-point stance in a pass set, he has to gather. Remember the pass set, I can't emphasize it enough. The pass set, the foot, and you come up. If I'm in a 4-point stance and I got a step forward, and any step forward is going to give the defensive guy a hell of an advantage. And I never want to set forward unless it's a 3-step drop and then I'm coming off the ball. I want to set flat or back on all pass sets. I think it's important that you have to move the foot, and that gets you up. If you don't move the foot no more than that, or just take it like this, that's what gets you up. If you don't, you tend to roll like this. If you roll like this, you don't get up as fast, and the guy's going to beat you.
On your cone drill, do you use a stance, or do you start on
On this here, on the cone drill?
When you were doing your cone drill?
Cone drill, I just start just like this.
Just start up?
Just like this. And when I coached in high school, I used to do it year-round, 3 days a week. One time, in one summer, it was about one summer, school was still on, it was about in May. The starting linebacker for the Buffalo Bills come down, he asked if he could work out with us. He was an All-American at Penn State, I forget his name right now. He came out, he was there for about 10 minutes, and our kids kicked the shit out of him. He never showed up again because we were just too quick for him because we had done it so long. And I did it more in high school than I do in college because I don't have them as much. I saw my kids in high school more than I see them in college. In high school, we did this year-round. We did it year-round. Everybody on my team did, quarterback and everybody. It's a great defensive drill. Good for anybody. It's the #1 drill. You know, Tony Wise, all those guys, this is one of their primary drills that they do all the time. It teaches you to stay square, teaches you to move both feet at one time, keep your hands up, keep your elbows in, and the #1 thing you learn is don't turn. And now if you do happen to get beat, if I'm a guard or any position, if I get turned like this and I'm getting beat on a pass rush, I can no longer recover with the foot that's getting beat. The only foot I can recover with is the back foot. So if I'm like this, I pass that, I set up, boom, the guy starts to beat me, he gets me turned. The only chance I got is bring this foot and square back up again. I have to square. If I'm a tackle and I'm coming like this and the guy gets by me, if he's starting to get by me, I have to recover with this foot here. Recover with this foot here. If I'm a tackle and he's got me turned, I better have him deep enough where I can now just take him and run him. Remember, I can stay square like this as long as I'm riding his inside leg. I'm still good. I'm still good here. But as soon as this foot gets behind, he's got a two-way go on me now. He can either drive through this shoulder or hit this shoulder and come under. As long as I'm in this position and riding his inside leg, or this position, I can recover. He goes in, I can turn, and then I recover with this foot. We take our tackles, and we do one like the 5-yard line, the 10-yard line. I'll take my left tackle, put him on the 5-yard line, my right tackle on the 10-yard line. And I'll just get a kid to rush, and I'll get him to slide down that line, just like this is the 5-yard line. He'll slide down that line, keeping the line between his legs, and slide back 10 to 15 yards. We'll just do rep after rep after rep until that kid gets used to just slide. Just like I got a wide block, I just slide. And I just slide back with him. And we'll do that in the off season an awful lot. I think that's another excellent drill. None of these drills are mine. These are all drills I got off other people. The mirror dodge, slide down the line. With your tackles, I think it's imperative. We move both our guards to tackle for next year, we think, and they're both 2 or 3 days a week for about 15, 20 minutes. They slide down that line on their own. We can't be there. and to take all the tackles. I'm the left tackle. I just set, and the guy's here. I set, and the guy just tried to beat me, and I just slide like hell down the line. Until they get used to going sliding like that, just the same as they get used to walking forward. They get in the habit of it. So the two main drills for off-season, this thing's still running here. The two main drills for off-season would be mirror dodge. Now, if the mirror dodge, the rabbit, the guy that's running, if he's not hustling, you don't have a drill. If he runs over to this cone, then he runs back over to that cone. Well, hell, the guy just going to walk over here. That guy has to actually try and score him. And once we do it with no score, then we'll put in where we score and we'll grade it. The losers will crab after practice. Now in high school, we used to crab the shit out of me. I can only pick out a few guys in college. I get 290, 300-pound lineman crabbing his ass. You know, I'm hollering at him. If he ever turned up and punched me, I'd fucking die, you know. I'm just chewing his ass out, you know. They'll get me for police brutality. I mean, coach brutality someday. I go whip him about a Louisville Slugger. But, I mean, you got to just insist. Like I start off with, you have to realize that your guy can block their guy. He can pass block him, he can run block him, and you just don't ever accept anything less than that. The two drills, the mirror dodge and the slide down the line. And never step forward, keep your elbows in and punch. I wish I could work this thing a little better. Like I said, I'm spoiled with that damn beta. Now, our center's left hand should go first. Remember I said his foot on pass protection, his left hand should go first. We work our tail off on this. Let's see if we can get it go. We work it all the time. Just stay square. Here's the tackle setting here. Let's watch his set. Not too bad, his set. Now, you notice anything different, strange on this film? Take a look at all parts of him. You notice anything different? He doesn't have a helmet on. Now, why do you think he doesn't have a helmet on? Because what do you think he was doing? He was pass setting, and what I say, you can't what? You should never try, you should never strive. I don't care what the block is. If you strive to make contact with your helmet, you're going to get the kid off balance. If he's off balance, he's not a football player. He was pass blocking, he was buttoning. I said, well, let's do it with your helmet on. Holy shit, watch his head now. It ain't nowhere up there. Now, I've had them get their noses all screwed up, bleeding, holy shit, you know. But you're surprised. After a while, boy, if you put him out there, ain't nobody going to get. Now, watch his hands on this. Now, believe me, he could never get his hands on anybody. Of course, the guy on defense is feeling a little sorry for him, I think. See him keep away from his body? On a run block, we want to get on his chest. On a pass block, we don't want him anywhere near our chest. If I can keep him at this length with my elbows in the punch, I'm at the point right now, I want an original punch and almost never disengage him again. Almost never, you know, punch and then never disengage him. Punch him and then just this. The second and third punch should be no more than this. Once I punch him, I lock on, I'm on him. I should almost keep him engaged and then just keep him like this. I should never and never ever bring my hands back to punch. Whether it's in run or anything like that. You never go backwards to get forward. If he's beat me somehow, I'm going to go this way and recover. You understand? I'm going to go this way. If he's into my chest, I'm going to go this way, get back, and recover. I'll never wind up because he wants to get to my chest. I never, ever want him on my chest. Run or pass. In pass particular, if I keep him at arm's length, he has no chance. Their job is to get through your hands, to knock them down, to knock them up, knock them sideways so they can get into your body. So that's why I take the helmet off. If you find a kid that just totally insists, make sure none of the parents are watching practice, take their damn helmet off and do your pass blocking drill. And hope he don't squeal away if he breaks his nose. I have yet to have anybody squeal on me. This little, oh, I pushed the wrong thing here, wait a minute. I think my tackle's a little bit better here on the original set. See, I think his foot brought him up higher. His punch should be right in there. It's a little slow with his hands, though. Watch. See, and you work, and you work. See, he's all right, but he's punching here. Oh, if he's out there, he's perfect. And you just work on it, work on it, work on it, and some get it and some don't, but at least you damn know that you tried your best. The guy got in a little bit too much on there. But I think he was a sophomore here. He became a little better at this. But you see how his hands are back? But he did try to go. Now, watch him though. Watch him come back to repunch. See him drop his hands back? You don't do that. He should punch and lock straight out of him. See, when he does it, when he's all right. He got him off. Then when he pulls back, he gives the guy another run at him. Just stay out there on him. Just stay out there. And his problem, he's a little bit too much on his heels. We don't want them on their heels. If they're on their toes, naturally you're going to miss them. That's when your headbutt and stuff. You're too much on your heels, they're going to power rush you. He's so conscious, and he's a conscientious kid. He ain't going to get power rush, and he ain't going to get this and that. He gets back on his heels, which then, just the same if you're in a fight and you're going to fist fight somebody like that. You got to be in the same balance. If somebody's going to take your girlfriend, you want to kick the shit out of him. You got to have the same balance. That you're going to knock his ass off. And you can't be up like that because you're going to swing and you're going to duck your head and you're going to kick their ass. If you're like that, you're going to just patty cake them. It's the same thing. I want to punch him. I want to be in a position to punch. I have to have my feet under me. I have to be in a strength position at all times. That's what you work on run, pass, block, or anything. You're in a position to punch and in a power position. This is all live against that kid that didn't play for it. But see how he's holding on? I'd rather him do that than regroup. This kid, it was an All-American. He's a freshman or sophomore here. He's an All-American this year. I don't think he's too bad with his left foot here. See how slow he is with his hands? Watch how slow he is with his hands. Watch the guy's helmet on defense. What's the mortal sin? Don't let him what? Into your chest. What's his mortal sin? Into the chest. Now but see, he kept his elbows in, and he kind of jerks them off there a little bit. But then see him drop his hands and regroup, instead of just locking on him. That kid's going to be he'll be a millionaire, that kid. See how slow he is? Watch his hands. I mean, you just got to work and work and work. You can't get discouraged. Now, what could I get discouraged? But no, they are better than that now. But that day, when we come out the field, you get discouraged. You say, holy shit. But you're a coach. You can never be negative. You can do anything you want with a kid, as long as your ass ain't negative with him. Don't ever tell him he stinks. Tell him he has the potential to stink. Tell him his relatives might stink. Tell him you stink. His girlfriend stinks, but he don't stink. You can never tell him he stinks, he ain't gonna listen to you no damn more. Ain't nobody wants to hear they stink. And we just watch it and we say, you're better than that. I've never seen a kid respond to negative, but I always see him respond to positive. By positive, I mean you kick their ass positive. See, I think he's a little bit better right here. Just a little bit slow, but a little bit quicker with his hands. See his elbows disappear on his chest? Now, see his hands come back. He can't do that. But he recovers back inside again. Well, we'll get some live ones. Later on in the year, we'll get some live ones there. That kid he's blocking stinks, though, I'll tell you that. See, a little bit slow with his hands. See, they're worried. They don't want to get beat. See, lack of confidence. You got to coach confidence. You can't coach negative. Well, that's not, they're not bad pass blocks, but they're not the way we want them. See that right foot a little bit too deep. A little bit too deep. Elbows aren't bad. He's inside. He's inside his chest. It's the same as a run block. He locks out. What'd I say about what's the worst thing you do in a pass set? See him roll? See him roll? Watch his ass roll down. This after I've done it 1,000 times with him. 1,000 times. Now watch what he does. See his ass drop because he didn't move his foot? Watch. I mean, it's insane. You say, well, you're Notre Dame, it's easy. It ain't easy. It ain't easy no damn place. It drives you goddamn crazy. Same as you guys go crazy. Sometimes you have a 160-pounder that does that shit just like that. He might not play for Notre Dame or Los Angeles Rams, but he'd be a hell of a player for you and a better athlete than this guy. Oh, this kid's going to be He's going to play pro ball here too. We just switched him over. See him roll? You can't let him roll. I guarantee you, I don't know how many times we set and just had him set. And there he goes rolling his ass. They're just set and roll. One thing he's doing good is keeping his elbow in, but watch his left hand come out. Where do we want our hands? Right on the inside of his number. Watch his left hand come out.
Can you do this drill with tackles? You have to do both left and right side, or just side and play?
I never, we used to flip-flop our tackles. You can't be good pass blockers if you flip-flop. You can't, I don't care who the hell you are, unless you're the greatest player to ever live. You can't flip-flop your tackles.
Do the right tackle, you're just going to work on the right side.
That's right. I never screw with the left side with him. Yes.
It looks like he's really extended there. His left ankle.
See that guy's pulling him. See, that's his back. Watch what the guy does. See him pull him? Watch the defensive guy pull him. That's why you always have to be, let's see, you'll see him pull him, right? He's pulling my guy. You know, he's grabbing my guy. And my guy punch, he grabs him and he's pulling him. So I got to be on balance. He pulled him a little bit, and then we got to straighten right the hell back up. Now, if he had been on his toes, he'd have pulled him right through. Remember I say you can never be on your toes? If you're on your toes and he pulls you, he's going to pull you right through, and there he goes. Now, if you're on your heels too much, he ain't going to pull you, but he'll what? He'll power rush your ass. So you got to be in what? In a fighting position all the time. Just like somebody's going to kick your ass, and you got to have your feet on. You got to be able to punch forward. You got to be able to jab. You got to be able to power punch. You have to do what the hell's required on you. And if you're jabbing, you're going to slide. It's no different, and you don't jab like this. If you jab from here. If you power punch from here. Comes from where? Your toes. Great knockoff guys. You guys don't go back far as Joe Louis. He's the first I saw. When he hit you right from his big toe, right through there, and down you went. Marciano, same thing. And Tyson was going to be the greatest fighter that ever lived. So that broad got his ass, or all those broads, or whoever it was. Remember, that's undefeated, man. They ain't never lost. Talk about the greatest of all time. There's never been one of those ever lose. You probably got one that's whipping you on your ass when you go home. You see him try to pull him? That's just Brian Young did. They're both young kids there, but he's going to be a number. He's going to be an All-American tackle for us. Now this is just some pass sets in a ball game here. Now remember, we're trying to keep our elbows in and set. This is later. No, this is in the spring. This is just in the spring. We're all screwed up. Remember I said stay square? See how many guys you see turn. Watch the damn left guard turn. The right tackle don't know what the hell he's doing. Look at him set inside. Watch the right. Can you believe that? He sets inside. He got wide. Watch this. My graduate assistant picked this film out for some reason, I guess to show everybody wrong. The center's not too bad because his hands are inside, but he turns. The left guard should never turn even on turn back. Should never turn. Left tackle's not bad. Maybe you want to show the fullback. Fullback's pretty good. That's Bettis there in the fullback. That's in spring practice. Let's watch this one. It's just turn back. Left guard as a bust. This is just turn back. I don't know why this is on there, I guess to show. But even on turn back, we want to stay square. On turn back, we're going to stay square. That's what we do. I'm not saying those that turn all the way back, they have their reason for doing it. They might run a draw or something off it. Watch the right tackle. Watch him duck his head down. As much as we said, never hit anybody with what? Never, ever hit anybody with your helmet. Watch your right tackle. Watch what happens to him. You can't play. You can't block people with your helmet. You can't do it. As soon as you do it, you're off balance. The right guard's not better. You stay square, except our tackle knocks him over. You know, everybody thinks you're getting college, you don't have anybody to coach anymore. It's the same thing in pro ball. I know all those guys, they have the same things. They go over day after day, and then you get a great one, he doesn't. They got to stay square. I think our right guard's pretty good here. Our right guard's pretty good. He sets, gets up inside. That's a hell of a player he's playing against there, too. Watch the left tackle. What's he supposed to move first? His outside foot. Watch him. Watch him. Watch him roll into it. What the hell are you going to do, you know? That doesn't mean you give up. Left tackle a little bit better that time. You got to move that foot to get you up. Now, we'll get some more film here. This is just our play action right here. Anytime we'll pull our center out if we have a wide 3 technique backside on pass. See, if we pulled our guard there, that makes it too hard for our center to come back. This way, we'll just slide our center out. He's a pretty good athlete, the center there. He's with the Colts now. Pardon me? Who, me? Everybody see it? Anytime, we're not going to take our center and bring him all the way back on that guy. We're just going to pop our center right out. It's nice and smooth. They get no penetration backside. You know, it's easy. Center just drops, boop, pops out, picks him up. We're never going to ask our center to go way back on a 3 technique. On any play we're running, we're going to pull the center. I don't give a shit if it's pass or run or what it is. I think this is Colorado. That was Southern Cal there. I think our pass set's a little better right here. Left tackle, I don't know what the hell he's doing. Yeah, left tackle had a bust, but our pass sets are all right. Right guard should stay square, stay square. He got backside backer. Left guard, stay square. He's with Tampa Bay. He weighed 260. He made it with Tampa Bay because of the athlete. The center weighed about 265. He's with the Colts because they're athletes. Right guard with the Bear, he weighed about 265 there. Because they're athletes. Just like that kid catching the ball. Right there, if he's coming hard, we're coming inside out. See, the tackle screwed up. The left tackle screwed up. That's not his guy. He soaks there, and he's just a good athlete. Left tackle block went the wrong way, and the left guard, he's holy shit. You know, that's why he was a hell of a player. You understand what I'm saying? He just made up for it. That was a bust. Our left tackle should have said right out, should have had no problem on it. I think our sets are pretty good here. Pretty good here. Except the left tackle, left tackle. Watch his right foot go up. See his right foot go up? It can never go up. He's going to get turned. Watch his right foot go, he get his ass turned. He is not a good athlete, that left. He's playing center now, but he's a tough bastard. That makes up for a lot of other stuff that's wrong. You know, if I have my choice, you give me the tough guys, and I'll give you all the athletes. Let me have 1 or 2 athletes, and I'll kick your ass. I like the tough guys. I don't mean some stumble bum. I'll tell you, one of the worst athletes to ever play football is that big guy who plays for the Redskins. What's his name? Big tackle. He's been there for 20 years or 15 years. Jacoby. I'm telling you right now, Jacoby has trouble chewing gum and walking. And I ain't shitting you, because Russ Grimm, who I coached at Pitt, was just over in my office on Wednesday. Jacoby cannot pass that. Jacoby cannot pass that without stepping forward. Jacoby cannot get his elbows inside. Jacoby can't do this. Jacoby can't do that. All Jacoby can do is block the son of a bitch he's supposed to block. So fundamentals are important, but being tough is the most important thing. They were just telling me that. I'm telling you, Jacoby is a poor athlete. This is 12th or 14th year in the league, and he has a chance to go in the Hall of Fame. See, I think this is pretty good with our sets right here now, if you look at them. And we're not looking at, we're just looking at their sets and how they're setting here. This is just our run block now. Remember, we're trying to get our shoulder to his chest, and this is just our base block. Watch how he gets overextended here. To me, that's overextended. See how his legs are behind, his knees are behind? We're trying to get inside him. Watch how he ducks his head a little bit. Remember, we just got this kid over from defense. See how he's kind of bent over and all screwed up. It's not good. It's how he walks through his block.
Is there a reason why you have him stepping with the inside foot first?
He was wrong. Remember I said near foot? If we have a full reach, we'll step inside foot. But now, he was wrong there. Remember I said step, snap. Now what's he doing? He's stepping back and snapping first. You know, what the hell are you going to do? You know, believe me, what I'm telling you, we work every day. We work on it. He should step first and snap. We have drills on it. We're just working right now, getting our shoulders, get our feet. And I don't think, now, he just got to accelerate more. He's got to accelerate more. This is not near foot coming through, and all we're doing is, all we're working on is a specific thing here, to get our shoulders through and elbows in. If you see their elbows from behind, they're wrong. And now we want to accelerate and just sprint through. And right here, we're not doing it because we're working on it. Anytime we do this drill, we have them take them 10 yards back. We will never do this drill. When we do it, we take the guy 10 yards back. For this day, we're apparently doing something that I'm not working on the actual block. It might be the first day of spring ball or something. I don't know. But we have them take them 10 yards back. Anytime we block somebody in this drill, we do this drill every day. Sometimes we'll reach them. Once in a while, we'll have them come with back foot, like you said, just open and back foot. Most of the time, we're just going to base them, have the guy cross his face, but we'll always take them 10 yards back. These are drills we do every day. We'll get some one-on-ones here against the defense. So I think he's a little better there at that time. See, you get up too high, pad under pad, sees too high. I mean, it's crazy. That's just a defensive guy. They want to get too high. You just got to work and work, you know. We get in ball games, we get, you know, we just keep doing it. This is in the spring here somewhere. That kid's going to be a great player, 75. Not a good one, a great one. He has a chance to be a truly great player. Now, right here, we're crossing over. Now, we're working on something specific here. Remember, we would never cross over, but watch what he's doing. See him lean instead of step? We would never have him come with backside foot unless what? We had somebody else coming behind in the block. So I'm just working on either, you know, just probably the early part of spring, I'm working on stepping with either foot so that they know how to do it. 90% of the time, I'm step with near foot. See, I don't think he's as near off balance. See, to me, he's much better. He's stepping with back foot. He got his feet under him. He just got to accelerate more. Doesn't have the strength of the other kid. He should turn that left foot and get it the hell out of his way more, which we'll get to a little later on this film. See, I think this kid's a little better now. See, he winds up a little bit with that right hand. I don't really teach that, but I'm not complaining about it, but his elbow should come up in front of him. See how his elbow's a little bit off to the side, his hands are up a little too high. And you got to accelerate out with your hands, lock out. Look at his left hand, unbelievable. As much as we work on, look at it outside. But I think he's a pretty good job of getting his feet under him, bringing his knees forward. But he takes his hand and puts it outside. We just keep doing it and doing it. Let's see if he comes off the ball or if he snaps first. See? He should step first. And then if we coach that, at least we get them both together maybe. We're definitely working just bringing backside foot here now. Let's see. That knee's got to come. See, I don't think he's near as much off balance here. Maybe you guys do. I think he's coming there. He's a little more in balance. Now he's got to accelerate like hell. And they end up with a base if they do it right. Remember, we will do this drill. We'll do it 10 yards back. I don't remember exactly why it was happening here. I think I was just working on specific things. This is a full reach here. All we want to do is take a step. We want to get our, see his helmet? Outside our helmet, he's wrong right there. We got to get our pad through. We got to get our helmet outside his helmet. I think this center's center two first. This kid's going to be a good player, 61 force. This kid will be all right. That's all we got. We got 3 next year. I got to find myself some players. At least he got his helmet across his helmet. We're trying to get our feet up, keep our elbows in. See how his elbows out? They just don't believe. We're going to go live against our defense here in a minute. Right here, even on this block right here, he's striving to get his knees up under him. Get his knees up under him. Get his knees up under him. So he stays on balance. This is just a reach block here. We open step that should be. And cross over, get your pads under him. Get square upfield. Get square upfield, pads under him, get square upfield. This is a double team where he's coming off fast here, but the tight end, that's a tight end there, he should bring his helmet down in more. We'd rather on any double team, the tight end get beat the guy across the space, we can break the ball up inside him. The tight ends and the tackle, on any double team, I forgot to say before, you should never tackle. If he has to go out an inch, he shouldn't. If he has to go out an inch, go inside. Should never, ever go out on any double team. I don't care if it's a half an inch. He's square to inside. Never even a half an inch outside of his original position on the double team. That's what we teach. Never go outside. See, he's winding up here. Let's see their feet here now. Watch their inside feet. Their inside feet should stay ahead of their outside feet. That did with the left tackle there. See how the right guard, I think he is, on a double team, his right foot, you got to stay ahead of his left, so he can very easily come up on a backside block. Same with the left tackle here. His left leg, his left knee should be up in front of his right knee so he can easily come up on a backside. Right here, that tackle, a lot of things are wrong here, but he does try to keep his right leg up in front of his left. See, the left tackle right here, as long as that left leg, he stays nice and square, he can stay on there as long as he wants, and he can walk right back into anybody he's picking up off the double team, as long as that leg's up in front. This is just a pure reach. Remember we were doing it before? We were working on it. It's just a pure reach. This kid's a hell of a player we're going against now. The kid he's going against pretty good, too. He gets inside him, not a bad block. Right at the end, see his left elbow come out? Gets his shoulder through him, he should accelerate right now. Right now, his helmet should turn in. His helmet's a little bit too wide. If he turns in, not a bad block. This kid is just a freshman right here, 75 at this time. He's the one that's going to be a great player. Now, maybe I'm wrong here, but it looks to me like he's trying to stay square at all times. See, this kid gets turned a little more. Now he's trying to square up. He doesn't get up underneath him. He didn't get up and down leverage. He didn't get in and out leverage either. He got an up and down leverage, in and out leverage. Once he gets by him, he's got to squeeze. That kid's a little too soft in everything he does. This against BY here. BY, you just remember, he's an All-American. We're not blocking a piece of garbage here now. This kid's an All-American. Believe it, we don't do that all the time. My graduate assistant picked out a good one there. But if you come off the ball and accelerate, see his feet go? He gets some leverage underneath. He gets some leverage inside, then he goes like hell. And that's a great player he's playing against. Not some average player. That's a great player. Our center got to get his knees up, even though it's a scramble. Get the hell up. Get up on balance. Fight to get your knees up under you. Just accelerate and go through them. This center's not very good. He's not very good. Get square, take him back. He's a little bit high, but accelerates like hell, but he does get inside leverage. See the inside leverage? There's two leverages, up and down, in and out. This is just that G play. No, this is a sweet play. All we're doing here is showing a down block. That right tackle should not make any ground. She should just turn and block him. Should never make ground on a down block or a back block. Here's a double team here. Watch our right guard. See how his right knee comes up in front? That should keep him square, and he has an easy time on backside backer. Our center shouldn't turn at all. He should just bring his feet and block him back. The right tackle turns a little bit too much. but would rather, he's not too bad there, right tackle. Here's the trap here. The right guard is wrong. What did I say the right guard should do? Go up through the 3 technique. Up through the 3 technique. That right guard, he's not a very good player. We like to trap the 3 technique tackles, just get down and seal off the backers. Center does a hell of a job. That's what makes it go. If you get movement with the center, even though our right guard's terrible, the right guard's terrible. That guy squeezes this so bad, we have no room to run except the center gets movement. That's the key thing. Center get movement, and the right guard goes up through so this guy can't squeeze it. See how the guy's squeezing down? You can't run a trap if your guard is going to let him squeeze like that. That's a shitty trap.
Is that the way you always open up?
On our trap?
Trap?
Let me see. I didn't watch that part.
I can see, you know, is that how you set up the trap option?
Yeah, we'll open up like this way more than not. More than not. We'll open up like that. Particularly split inside. We'll reverse out if we don't expect a pressure from the guy over the tight end. There, once again, see if our right tackle, he just turns in place and blocks down. That's right, I think we have a couple more. That's just a G play there. Anytime we get a bubble over the tackle, they've got a good chance. Here's a trap there. Here, the left guard is wrong. Now, I need to say that left guard never played for us. This is spring ball. The center plays, the right guard plays, but that guy doesn't play. I don't even know who the hell that is. He cannot release inside. The only reason we got a trap out of this all because we get some movement with the center. The center didn't come play side enough. This is Florida, I believe. This is Miami. This is Miami. That's Russell, Maryland that knows there, I think. I don't know. Yeah, it's Russell, Maryland. The key to stay square, get your hands under, get your pads under, and stay. You have 2 leverages, up and down, in and out. Remember I said when you're going to pan the ball to tailback, you can't move your back foot until you see where the guy's going? Watch the left guard. See how he just sets there, just sets? Now, see how he sets? He stepped his right foot a little bit, but he stayed square, watch. Now he can chase him. If he would have just gone out there to block him on a reach block, that guy'd have been right in our backfield. The left tackle, watch him move his left foot. The guy goes in, he just takes him in. If you give him the ball to tailback, you can't go run off the ball the way people play nowadays. They just stand there, you're going to run in, all right, you run in, fullback come out, and there we go. That was a hell of a nice stunt. They both ran out of the play. You can't come off the ball hard when you're giving the ball to tailback. And this is one, we're not showing you any blocking here at all. If you can't figure out what we're showing you here, that's why they call him Rocket. You get him, you don't have to block anybody too much. And there's been a lot of great ones. There ain't been one ever better than him. That was against a pretty good pit team right there. I mean, I was standing on the sidelines. It was over, man. Those guys. Let's see what else we got in here now. I don't know whether that's it or not, or whether I missed something with it going forward. I missed some, there was some, we had some bowl games and stuff in there. I missed that. Anybody got a question on it? That's what we teach. That's all I can tell you. And we do it all the time. Anybody got a question on anything? Stay square. Get on their chest. Don't let them on your chest. Keep your feet under you. Accelerate like hell. Get leverage, both up and down and in and out.